The early to mid 2000s was such an interesting time for Pokemon. Coming off of the first two generations and into the third and fourth, everything was so cheesy yet sincere, and I had some of my favorite memories during this era. Hey, this is Gatorex, and yeah, let's go ahead and discuss and reminisce a bit about Pokemon. Now, this is part of sort of a video tag series created by UmbreonLibris that's called hashtag Pokemon Home for the Holidays. Of course, centered around this. It's mostly about family, friends, and memories, so that's kind of what I'm going to be discussing. My family is a bit camera shy, so I'm not going to have them here, but we did have some long talks about Pokemon, although in our family, it's mostly me who remembers everything, or at least the small details. So I'll be like, hey, do you remember when this happened? And they'll just be like, no. But regardless, it was an interesting time for Pokemon. Now, me personally, I got into Pokemon during Generation 1 and sort of Generation 2. I was introduced to it by my cousin, who gave me a hand-me-down Game Boy Color, as well as Pokemon Blue, and then eventually Pokemon Gold. Or no, Pokemon Silver. I got Gold also from a different cousin, actually. So I was introduced to it right before Generation 3 came out, and I grew up with two brothers who also got in on Pokemon around this time. So one Christmas we were each gifted a Game Boy Advance, and it was beautiful. It was so amazing. So we had this Game Boy Advance by the time that Generation 3 then came out, and I remember that my aunt had got us each a copy of Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire. And so during this era, we were just prepped and primed to be Pokemon fans, basically. And with everything at the time, I think I've mentioned in various videos before that the commercials, I remember at the time, and a lot of other promotional things were just really at a high point for Pokemon at this time because, you know, it had been proven to work in Generation 1 and 2, and so with 3, they were just kind of going full force. And again, you know, that's where some of my most vivid memories come from. We also had a Nintendo 64, which again, I think was given to us by some cousins because, you know, it was also good because we had some older cousins who were really growing out of Pokemon at the time, so they were basically just giving us all their stuff. I say growing out of Pokemon, but you know, it's real interesting. But of course, we played, you know, a bunch of other Nintendo games on this N64, but also, of course, the, you know, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, Pokemon Stadium 2, which we still have and we still pop in time to time. In fact, just today, we had a round of the mini-game tournament, and I was a little shaky in the first tournament in the first round, but the second round I pulled a win. But you know, that's just so fun to do. You know, I even remember one year for my birthday, we set up the Nintendo 64 with Pokemon Stadium 2 specifically while we were setting everything up, and you know, that was basically just what all the kids did, just played that. You know, it's real fun. You know, eventually we started getting more. I realized again, you know, just a lot of stuff has been hand-me-downs from older cousins. My parents, of course, like just always, not that they gave us what we wanted, but just they wanted to make us happy in what way they could. So every so often they would, you know, maybe buy like a pack of Pokemon cards from the store, or for Christmas, right, we get this game or that game or whatever. Of course, you know, they were always supportive. I've apologized to them in just how much I probably annoyed them in just going on and on and on about whatever Pokemon that they just didn't care about, and of course taking the family room TV every weekday at 4 o'clock for Pokemon, and then when it started airing only on Saturdays, of course, you know, Saturday morning was a big thing, waking up and just watching TV all day, and especially for waiting for Pokemon. Of course, you know, like I said, this was during this era, during the tail end of Gold and Silver era into Ruby Sapphire. Those were like some of my most vivid, and that's kind of where I was really at my height of it. And you know, it was pretty cool. You know, I still talk to them today. They still know that I really am into Pokemon, and so we'll talk here and there. And like I said, during this era, during this time, was actually something that I made a video about once, or actually a few months ago, the Pokemon contest that I entered. That's a great video, and I really want to do more like that. Just kind of talking about specific big events, but for the most part, it's kind of just it was always just there. I became like a bigger Pokemon fan, honestly, in high school, but that's, you know, a later era. Then going into the DS era, things were also pretty neat. You know, at this time, both my brothers and I started acting, so we had a little more money for ourselves, and with those, we bought a bunch of, you know, DS games, or we bought DS consoles and DS games, because this was about the time that the DS came out. And, you know, that was also neat too, but at this time, we were also getting into more Nintendo and not just Pokemon, because, you know, with the Game Boy Advance, Yeah, we had the consoles, and then, maybe 1 or 2 games that we got for Christmas as well with it, and then whatever used cheap game we could pick up from GameStop when we had the chance. And then, of course, the big ones, the Pokemon games that we were given. And then also, like Fire Red and Leaf Green when those later came out, getting those for Christmas. And then Emerald, of course, I got Emerald later on. So Pokemon was just kind of the big thing. But also, again, back to, I guess, the acting thing, it was also neat because everybody had a DS at that time. And, we were all kids. So we would all just always play games between takes, talk about Pokemon here and there. And, it was also kind of an interesting experience because we got to meet a bunch of other kids. But, 100% they always had, like, a Nintendo DS with them, or they were into whatever thing, Pokemon or this and that. So it was always neat to share those experiences as well. But, it was really, really me and my 2 brothers because we're close enough in age. But definitely, like, they were just go-to, like, if we want to battle, or if we want to talk about Pokemon, or we want to watch Pokemon or whatever. I guess that's an advantage to having siblings, is that you have built-in friends, at least, who you can experience Pokemon with as well. One thing I remember pretty specifically is there was a Darkrai distribution at Toys R Us, and I got my dad to drive me there. We didn't even buy anything from Toys R Us. I just said, hey Dad, could you drive me to Toys R Us? They're going to be giving away this Pokemon. He had no idea what was up. He would also end up bringing me a few other times to, like, GameStop or wherever else for whatever Pokemon distribution, and he just rolled with it. I don't think he got it. I mean, he probably understands it a little now. Little later, last year actually, this happened. I got my dad to watch Detective Pikachu, the movie, and he enjoyed it. He liked it. I think it being live action and being pretty standalone, he was able to get into it and be able to say, like, okay, I can follow this story, or I like this. No, yeah, he liked it. I'm pretty surprised. But again, I feel like they put up with me, but they're always just honestly just really nice and supportive. They went along with whatever. Just like I said, buying whatever packs of Pokemon cards or whatever Pokemon toys. But it was definitely a fun time. And like I said, getting to hang out with them now, or spend family time during these holidays, and again, just kind of reminisce, and like I said, relive some of the memories, especially with Pokemon Stadium 2. We gotta get some of the other old games. Unfortunately, a lot of our old games we just didn't have because we brought them to GameStop in order to buy new games, because that's how dumb we were and how just we were in general. But it's a fun trip down memory lane, and like I said, we've been talking like this whole week basically about Pokemon stuff, or at least just random memories that I have. And again, I'll probably maybe do something on the high school era, because that's where things really changed and really picked up. But family-wise, the era of Ruby, Sapphire into Diamond, Pearl was just very nice. It was a much, much simpler time. But yeah, let me know your memories in the comments below. Thank you, UmbreonLibris, for coming up with this idea, for sort of tagging me. Again, it wasn't necessarily a tag, but you can his video should be up, so you can go ahead and watch that. I will link that in the description when it is up. But anyway, yeah, I hope you just have a good time. Merry Christmas and happy holidays going into New Year's Eve as well. And I just hope you have a great time with whoever you're able to spend time with. It's great to be #Pokemon home for the holidays, even if it has to be digitally in some cases. But anyway, if you enjoyed the content, leave a like, subscribe, enable notifications. Anyway, this has been GatorX. Have a nice day.